Campaign report, first on BBC One with Peter Sissons.
The Tories of Tatton are meeting now to decide whether they'll have Neil Hamilton as their candidate. The former minister faced his party activists after earlier coming eyeball to eyeball with Martin Bell. The TV reporter pledged to fight him if he doesn't stand down. Church leaders lay into politicians of all parties for failing to offer real hope to those in greatest need. And sweeping new rules for the meat industry are on the way in response to the E. coli poisonings. Good evening. Conservative Party activists in the Cheshire constituency of Tatton are meeting now to decide the fate of Neil Hamilton, their former MP, who's been dogged by but always denied allegations that he took cash to ask questions in Parliament. Mr Hamilton faces the certainty that if selected as the official Conservative candidate, he'll be opposed by the anti-corruption candidate Martin Bell, given a clear run by Labour and the Liberal Democrats. Earlier today, Mr Hamilton sought out Mr Bell for a dramatic face-to-face. Our political correspondent Nicholas Jones is in the Tatton constituency.
Oh, come on, let him come through, please.
Yep.
Decorum. No.
Neil Hamilton was stony-faced for the meeting that will decide his political future. The expectations of a tense occasion had been building up all evening, but Mr Hamilton's supporters were out in force.
I support him.
I said if he's telling lies through his teeth, then he's the best actor I've ever met.
And Mr Hamilton also had a celebrity friend to back him, local Coronation Street star Bill Roach. But the real high spot came earlier in the day on Knutsford Common. Neil Hamilton and his wife Christine were determined to upstage the TV journalist who'd invaded their constituency.
Why have you come here today? I'm going to ask Mr Bell a question.
And Martin Bell arrived without any further prompting.
You know Mr Hamilton's here.
No, it's fine. Where is he?
And then, in his white suit, suggesting trust and integrity, off he strode to meet them, promising a fair fight.
I really want this to be a sort of a decent, free, dignified campaign.
Good.
So that when it's over, we can just shake hands and walk away. I congratulate you or commiserate with you, and you do the same with me.
Good.
But it was Mr Hamilton who'd sought the confrontation and struck first.
I've only come along this morning to ask one question, really, because you're presenting yourself in the Tatton constituency, which I've represented for 14 years as an anti-corruption candidate. And the irresistible inference which is to be drawn from that is that you think I'm guilty in some shape or form of corruption. And so I'd really like to know from you what allegations of corruption you think I'm guilty of.
I'll give you my answer. I don't actually intend to talk about you at all. All people are going to ask me about you. I want you to run on your record or against your record, whatever it is. I want a clear election. I may talk about trust. I think the issue of trust is important. And if at the end of their day, the electors of Tatton feel they can trust you more than they can trust me, then my goodness, they should elect you. That's reasonable, isn't it?
But, I mean, you must admit that the tendentious title that you've chosen for your candidature as being anti-corruption and the selection of this particular constituency, which is now indelibly connected with me,
I haven't chosen.
It must draw
I have not
the
chosen this title. I'm going to stand as an independent, and I'm going to lay out my stall on a lot of issues. Because if I'm expecting people to vote for me, they've got to know where I stand on things like education and Europe and so on. And I would do that after nomination, if assuming you're going to make it tonight, and I'm just...
Of course he's going to make it tonight.
Now it was the turn of Mrs Hamilton to stand up for her husband.
Do you accept that a man is innocent unless proved guilty?
Yes, of course I do.
So you accept that my husband is innocent?
I think there's a lot of...
Do you accept that my husband is innocent?
I'm not facing an ambush here. Let's just see what comes out. I don't know. I don't know. I'm standing here because a lot of local people have asked me to stand here, and the impetus comes from local people. And let them just choose between us.
I thought it came from a dinner party.
I would just like to say then that you are prepared to give me the benefit of the doubt on the allegations that have been made against me.
Absolutely.
So the Hamiltons got one significant concession.
There we are. I don't want to hijack the whole press conference.
Well, you haven't done badly. I'm supposed to be the guy who manipulates the media. Well done.
So, ambush accomplished, the Hamiltons departed. Martin Bell prepared for a walkabout with Colonel Bob Stewart, a friend from his days in Bosnia, and he's relishing by the hour the chance to fight it all the way to polling day.
As we went on the air, Neil Hamilton's adoption meeting has ended and he has been readopted as the Conservative candidate in Tatton. Nicholas Jones joins us from there now. Nick, what can you tell us?
Well, it's a resounding victory for Neil Hamilton, 2-1 at least. The figures that we've been given so far are 182 in favour of reselecting Neil Hamilton and 100 against him. There were only 50 people who put up their hands initially to try to get a secret ballot, so it went through on a show of hands, and Mr. Hamilton then spoke to the meeting, and as you can see, the people are just leaving now.
It's still a significant split in the local party, Nick. What effect would you expect that split to have during the campaign?
Well, I think you're right. There is a significant split, and more details of it have been emerging during the day with a number of local councillors, including a number on Macclesfield Borough Council, indicating that they are thinking of standing down, of resigning in protest. It was part of the pressure that was on Mr. Hamilton initially, but now it looks as though they are going to go ahead with their threat.
So Martin Bell gets a run at Neil Hamilton, and presumably it's the last thing the Tory party leadership nationally wants.
That, I think, is the case, yes. It keeps the whole question of the anti-corruption argument right up in the news. Martin Bell himself, he seems to be relishing the chance, almost as though he's fancying his prospects of becoming a Member of Parliament. He's certainly been parading himself up here very much as an independent, someone who he believes the people can trust.
Nicholas Jones in Tatton, thank you.